They are evil, murderous, violent, bestial people. They steal, they kill, they destroy, they look like Satan in how they act.
That's Brian Sauvé, pastor of Refuge Church in Ogden, Utah. What you just heard was an excerpt from the King's Hall podcast, and it isn't parody. When I first heard that clip, I couldn't believe how casually it linked culture and sin. But the more I looked into it, the clearer it became. This isn't one man's rant. It's part of something much larger. In this piece, we're going to unpack what drives rhetoric like that, how faith turns into control, and what it costs when power wears a cross. When people hear the words Christian and nation together, it sometimes sounds harmless, almost inspiring, like faith and patriotism walking hand in hand. But what if I told you that phrase, Christian nationalism, has almost nothing to do with following Jesus and everything to do with power? Because what we're seeing right now isn't revival, it's rebranding. It's control dressed up like conviction. Yet real faith, the kind that shaped movements for abolition and civil rights, has never been about control. It's always been about compassion. That tension, coercion versus compassion, is the heartbeat of this story. One of the clearest examples of what happens when coercion wins comes from a pastor in Utah named Brian Sauvé. He said Black people could join his church, but only if they left Black culture at the door. Then he used Old Testament law to justify executing rebellious young Black men. If that shocks you, remember, bad theology rarely sells itself as evil. It markets itself as safety. That's the propaganda trick. Fear packages faith, nostalgia sold as holiness. So today, we're unpacking what Christian nationalism really is, how it's woven into American politics, and how its gospel of coercion stands in total opposition to Jesus' gospel of compassion. Because if we're going to protect what's sacred, we have to know the difference between a kingdom built on love and an empire built on fear.